Thank you and good afternoon. This is Sam Vaughan for Sam Sports Report. Chiefs beat the Bears. Chiefs beat the Bears. Patrick Mahomes is still Justin Fields' daddy. I have one question for Fields. Can he ever become any good? He can't become elite. I already know that. Can he ever become any good? Could he become at least a Cam Newton? That's probably too high a hope for him, but I don't know really what he is. After a Chiefs punted on the first drive and made a touchdown, on seven drives they made 3 touchdowns, 2 field goals. McKinnon caught a flip from Mahomes. Travis Kelce caught a touchdown. Clyde Edwards-Helaire had a touchdown. Patrick Mahomes goes for 272. Fields didn't even hit 100. He only threw 1 pick in garbage time. He got a touchdown. Patrick Mahomes reached his 2,500 career passing yards. Andy Reid surpasses Tom Landry in wins. 4th most wins of any NFL coaches all time. It wouldn't be fitting without giving Andy Reid a picture. We'll do that at the end. Chiefs win 41-10. Patrick Mahomes gives a scare, goes down injured, but luckily he was fine, but was injured on that ankle and it hurt him the rest of the game. But he was good enough and led his team down into the end zone. Chiefs win 41-10. Here's that pick of Andy Reid. Now let's move on to the Vikings and Chargers. Chargers coach Brandon Staley makes a big mistake going for it on 4th and 1 on their own 24. If that was the loser of the game, they would have had a biggest news of the day would have been that Brandon Staley could have been fired. But on 4th and 5 from the 9, right after Kirk Cousins showed he wasn't good enough, he got a first down. On a 4th and 5, a gain of 9 got him a first down. I think if Cousins showed why he isn't as good as he used to be, as a pick at the end, Brandon Staley was lucky that his job didn't go for that and not scoring a touchdown, because Chargers advanced to 1-2. Keenan Allen has 3 touchdowns and 215. Chargers, Justin Herbert goes for 405. As said, Keenan Allen goes 215 and 18 catches. Justin Jefferson had 149 yards. Kirk Cousins was good until the last play, which was the interception. The Vikings dropped to 0-3. Here's ESPN insider Field Yates on Sports Radio 810 this morning.
If they lose that game yesterday, I think it's the lead story in sports this morning. I think there are people calling for his job this morning, but it's the live by the sword, die by the sword, and that's where I think he is at with these, these analytical. I mean, I hate to say that they're all analytical, but these are numerically driven decisions based off of winning probability odds.
Yeah, we'll see. You're right, though. If they lost that game, if the Vikings didn't find a way to,
it's the story of the day.
Yeah, I mean, people are absolutely saying he should be fired. I mean, they're saying it now, but if they
Some
lost the game,
still are, yeah.
I mean, they lost the game.
810 talking about if the Chargers lost and how it would be Brandon Staley's last game as a Chargers coach. But as it stands, it won't be his last game as coach. Seahawks and Panthers, Bryce Young, injuries, uncertain of why he didn't play, and Frank Wright didn't give an upgrade. Andy Dalton went for 351 and 2 touchdowns, an outstanding game, 4th quarters, but it wasn't enough. Seahawks grabbed control, which meant that the Panthers had to throw the ball a lot, and that's why Andy jumps off the stats for you with 351. Geno Smith has 296. Kenneth Walker had 97 and a touchdown. Adam Thielen goes for 145 and a touchdown as later in the season. I'll give you the stats, but they're kind of misleading. Dak Prescott had 249 and one touchdown and one INT. Running back Tony Pollard had 122. Wide receiver Michael Gallup had 92 yards. Cardinals Joshua Dobbs had 189 and one touchdown. James Conner had 98 yards and one touchdown. Michael Wilson had 86 yards. For the Cardinals, Cardinals win 28-16. Raiders and Steelers, you've got some Van Sam Vaughan smack on that. Why would you go for it, kick it again after you kicked it just before and got a first down? I get it. If you're down less than a field goal, maybe you kick it. And then you hope for a defensive stop, and then you get the ball back. But as it is, it was a 5-point game. You go for it on 4th and 5. And if you don't get that, you're relying on the defensive stop. Pretty so much the same thing what they had to do anyway. And you don't make it the 2-point conversion, which they were down 8. That gives you another chance to get a field goal. The game wasn't even over then. But you decided to go for a field goal, and that may have ended your hopes. It pretty much did. Raiders lose Sunday night 23-18. Let's go back to the 12 o'clock games. Texans upset the Jaguars, turn over the ball twice. CJ Stroud has had 2 amazing games in his first 3 games. Second pick in the NFL draft. David Carr hurt during x-rays. Wasn't good though, but it may have gotten a positive report. No update on that injury. Jordan Love running the ball had over 100. He threw an INT though versus the Saints versus the Packers, as we didn't mention. Love scored on a touchdown. And through the air and through the ground, he had 289 yards. Jordan Love had 298 yards through the air and on the ground. Romeo Dobbs scored a touchdown to go make the Packers go ahead and lead for good 18-17. Falcons lose to the Lions. It was pretty much a defensive battle. 20-6. Jared Goff throws for 1 touchdown and 1 pick. Desmond Ridder and the Falcons didn't have a good day. Jeremiah Gibbs was the one that had the better day. Bijan Robinson wasn't that great. Gibbs had 80 yards and Marshall Brown had 102, but no touchdowns. But in a win for the Lions over the Falcons. That final was 20-6 Lions over Falcon. Commanders blasted the Bills 37-3. The Commanders almost got shut out as they kicked a field goal 46 to avoid the shutout. From 46 to avoid the shutout, Sam Howell had 4 INTs. The field goal came with under a minute, 45 seconds about. Otherwise, they had 0, but they lose big. Commanders turn over the ball 5 times. Stephon Diggs for the Bills goes for 111. Josh Allen goes for 218 and a touchdown. James Cook goes for 98. And Bills win 37-3. The Titans stink. They got blown out by the Browns. Deshaun Watson had 289 for his best game of the season. Amari Cooper goes for 116. Watson played his best game of the season. Ryan Tannehill only had 104 yards. Maybe it's time for him to be over. Derrick Henry didn't have a very good day either. It may be over for Mike Vrabel as he is not repeating what he did, and his team just stinks now, and it might be time for the Titans to look in a new direction as they have a new backup quarterback who will probably take over for Ryan Tannehill, Will Lutz. Jets, Pats involved in a low-scoring game. Jets, Zach Wilson goes for 157 and 50%. Dalvin Cook goes for only 18. Garrett Wilson gets mad and does not getting the ball, 48 yards for him. Ezekiel Elliott had 80 yards for the 16 carries for the Pats. Mac Jones had 201 and a touchdown. Win Patriots 15-10. Jets. Jets play the Chiefs next week. Monday night at 7:20, NBC. The Dolphins' offense was on fire and on flames as they scored 70 points. It was 70-20. Tua Tagovailoa goes for 25 for 36, 309. Tyreek Hill, former Chief, goes for 157 and 2 touchdowns. Tua goes for 309 and 4 touchdowns, we didn't mention, and a 155.8 quarterback rating. David Ackney goes for 203, all led to 70 points. The Broncos only had 20. Yeah, that's right, the final was 70-20. And tonight, Monday night, it'll be the Buccaneers and Eagles, Super Bowl champions Eagles, 2-0, surprising Bucks. Quarterback Jalen Hurts and Baker Mayfield will go up against each other. Mike Evans had 170 yards last week, and Devontae Smith is a player to watch out for. He had 131 last week and a touchdown. Also, Eagles running DeAndre Swift is a player to watch out for. Game time is at 6:15 Monday night. Bengals Rams. Joe Burrow not buying any setbacks. As reported a few hours ago that he was expected to play. He's going to try it, see how he feels. Matt Stafford, of course, Rams quarterback. Rams and Bengals. Rams 1-1, Bengals 0-2. Things have changed since they've been in the Super Bowl, but this is a rematch of the 2021 Super Bowl. We go over the 0-2 Bengals. 0-2, you don't want to get started off on those playoff stats, but Joe Mixon on the ground for the Bengals. Watch out for him. Receiver T. Higgins, and watch out for receiver Jamar Chase. Rams receiver Puka Nacua, who leads the Rams in receiving yards, is questionable. On defense, watch for Aaron Donald, and safety for the Bengals, Terrence Anderson. Game time is at 7:20 Monday night. This is Sam Vaughan for Sam Sports Report.